Hello, pianists. Today we're going to be starting our fifth piece, which is in the key of E major. So we have four sharps now. We have F sharp, C, G, and D sharp. And this song is called Maybe, because I was trying to be clever, because we're up to May in the year. And we're in a new time signature. We're in 6/8 now. So you've got 6 beats per measure, and an eighth note gets a beat. And the tempo, is 68 beats per measure. So let's hear what that sounds like. One, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so not too fast. I'm gonna play this through twice for you, once with the vocals and once without the vocals. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe the sky is falling. How would we know it's not? Maybe the earth is spinning off its axis into space. I'm unmoored, and the only cure is holding on to your hands. Please don't let go. Maybe everything is going to be alright. If we believe it may come true, so let's believe. All right, so now I will play it without the vocals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So, I actually was pushing the tempo a little bit because it felt a little bit slow to me. And I encourage you to really take as many artistic liberties as you want in the interpretation of these pieces. I want you to express your own artistry through them and don't feel like you're stuck playing them exactly as I'm playing them. Let me turn the camera around and show you the score, which you should have printed out, and just point out a few things that I want you to be cognizant of as you're learning this piece. Okay, so here you can see the score, and in the left hand, you're playing arpeggios. And again, I gave you the arpeggios in root position, meaning that you are always keeping the name of the chord in the bass note. So if you're playing an E major arpeggio, the E is going to be in your pinky. If you're playing a C major arpeggio, the C is going to be in your pinky. All right, I wanted to keep it relatively easy, so I didn't give you any inversions. And you want to keep those eighth notes nice and even as you're playing. And really the right hand is carrying the melody. So the left hand is the accompaniment. And so you want to give more pressure, more intensity to the right hand melody. And again, if you're singing the piece, you're following in unison the right hand melody. When I sang it and played it, I changed up the melody slightly, the rhythm of it. So I followed my voice with my right hand, but you don't have to do that. You can play it exactly as written if you like. And again, you don't have to sing it all if you don't want to. In this piece, we have a da capo al fine again, right? DC al fine. So that means when you complete playing it through once, you go back to the beginning, to the head of the piece, and then you play it up to the fine, which is at the end of the 16th measure. All right, I didn't include any dynamics markings, and I didn't include any pedal markings. But if you would like to start incorporating the sustain pedal with your right foot, you can do that. So as I was playing this, I was kind of pedaling every measure. So I'm putting down the pedal as I play the first note of each measure, and then I'm picking it up on the last note and replacing it quickly at the beginning of the next measure. So it's almost like I'm lifting the pedal between the last note of the previous measure and right before the first note of the next measure. All right, and again, that's something that you can practice slowly and then bring the piece up to tempo when you are ready. In this piece, you're going to be starting on an E major arpeggio, and your pinky is going to be on the E below middle C, or E3, and your thumb is going to be an octave above on E4. There's a big stretch, you're covering a large range. I'm going to play it through for you now from beginning to end so you can see my left hand. And again, this piece is complicated in that it's cumulative. So we have chords from all the pieces that we've learned so far, right? We start with E major, then we go to C major, which of course was our first key center, back to E major. And each chord you're playing twice. It's the third round, right? And now I'm going to go to D major. And back to C. And here's the second section of the song. I go up to G major. I'm on moored E and the C. Only cure is holding D. Back to G. Sorry, I'm just going to forward to the next page. On to your E hands. Please don't let go. And then we go back to the beginning again. So I'm not doing anything fancy. I like to use the fingering 5, 3, 2, 1, and then back down the same way. For my arpeggios, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can use 4 if you want. You can use 4, 3, although that's a little bit awkward. But you find the fingering that's comfortable for you. All right, now let's look at the right hand. So the right hand, of course, is a little bit more complex. You're going to be starting on the G sharp above middle C, which is G sharp 4. All right, and you'll notice that in the score, you have a lot of natural symbols, right? Because when I go into the key of C major, I don't have any sharps, but in our key center of E major, C and G are sharped. So if I have C and G inside of the measure, I've got to put a natural symbol inside of that measure to indicate that we are not playing those sharps inside of that measure. All right, so the right hand is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe the sky is falling. How would we know it's not? And so I just crossed over, right? I played would we 1, 3, 2, 1. Then I go back to 3. Maybe the earth is spinning off its axis into, I'm crossing over there with my 2. Space, I'm unmoored, and the only cure is holding. Turning the page here. This is the hardest part, I think. On to your hands. So that's a little bit complicated, right? I'm using my 3, 5, 2, your 4, 5, 4, 3, 1, and then 5, 4, 2, 2, 1, 2. And then please don't let go. All right, and you'll notice that the rhythm in the right hand is mostly very, very simple, right? It's mostly dotted quarter notes, which means that it's very, very even. You're playing 1 note for every 3 notes in the left hand. You're playing 1 note in the right hand. There's a couple spots where it switches to quarter, eighth, right? And then the most complicated section is your dotted quarter note. So quarter, dot, eighth to eighth, quarter, eighth, quarter, dot, 2/8, 2/8, 2/8. That's the most complicated part. You should be really proud of yourself that you've gotten this far. This piece, while not necessarily that much more complex, is in a much more complicated key signature, and we have a whole new time signature. But more importantly, this is the first piece that I really loved writing because it sounds like a full-fledged song to me, and you just have a much wider harmonic alphabet available to you. So now we're really getting a lot more richness in the possibilities of where the melody can go. So I hope that you enjoy playing it. I would love to hear you playing it or playing it and singing it together. If you want to share any recordings, either audio or audio and video together with me. Happy practicing and good luck.